Apollo is three things: finesse, mobility, and a cut above. And every good Apollo main should embody these three things. But how do you do that when you're so squishy that you just die from any bit of damage? Well, let me tell you something. When I said that you need to embody these three things, I mean you need to embody these three things. Apollo is in the archetype of burst and mobility damage, so like Calico and Lash, you're not supposed to be prolonging fights. Don't 1v4, you will explode. Do hop in and give chase to low enemies, because most builds and Apollo's abilities do encourage movement. Don't go in thinking you can tank anything, and understand that once you have clean movement, you have to have the confidence knowing you can chase down an enemy and take them out and get away alive. Apollo is not a gun character, and while yeah, that's a hilarious concept, don't build it. Your gun has very limited range and sucks overall. Your one is called Disengaging Sigil. You press it and then there's a small delayed blast that happens right in front where you're aiming, and Apollo does like a little backflip after activating it. Your 2 is his Riposte, which is, in my opinion, his best ability. It was so good they had to nerf it. You press 2 and you block the next single instance of damage that hits you. You look at an enemy hero in your range and press 2 again to activate it, and you lunge at them, stunning them for a small moment. Your 3 is Flawless Advance. You press it and Apollo does a lunge with his sword. It has a total of 3 uses and you can charge them, and once you upgrade it, any perfect charges do max damage and can heal Apollo. It's also a really good running away tool. Dead. And lastly, his 4 is called Itani Losan. Press 4, it charges up, and then Apollo strikes forward in a decent range in front of him, hitting any enemies that are slowed. They cannot heal, they cannot move, they cannot use items, and after a small duration, they take damage. Also, enemies who are less than half take bonus damage. Apollo is very vulnerable during the startup of this ultimate, but is invulnerable after he's using it while he's slowed. It looks awesome, feels badass to use. But the main takeaway here, as I mentioned, is that almost every ability here has movement involved in some way, and your understanding of how to use that is key. So, the laning phase is what we're doing here, and well, you're bad at laning. Take your time, wait for your ult. Apollo is great at giving chase and bursting down enemies who get too cocky, but any lane bullies with a lot of health and poke will just give you a run for your money. Keep your distance, don't take too much damage, and do your best to finish off any enemies that get too low. Poking and ganking lanes is really up to you and how well your team is doing and how confident you are. Apollo is great for it, but that really is a judgment call. If you had to gank with any character, Apollo is definitely one of the better ones to use it with, but once you get your ult, your laning phase turns into get those dudes to have health and burn them down, baby. Because you are an engagement ender, so your key to victory is landing your ult crucially. Heading on into mid phase is where things get a little better for you. I would not recommend staying in your lane, as Apollo isn't the best at wave clear, nor really camp clearing, so it's more in your best interest to gank and do box runs to get your souls up. You should not really be trying to grind camps as Apollo early game, maybe in like later mid game just because you can kill them a little faster, but they take so much time early on. On top of not being gun oriented, objectives are just generally harder for you to tackle anyway, so things like Guardians and Walkers are more difficult for you to take on alone. This means that your main focus should be racking up those kills, and how to go about it is on the more difficult end, and keeping a constant eye on the state of play. Who's where, how long have we not seen certain enemies? The smarter your enemies are, the more likely they are to gank or trick you, so being vigilant and staying mobile is very important. You can be hitting camps in your free time, but you should really just be trying to keep an eye out where the most engagements are and see if you can find a solo enemy who is low on the map and go for them and take them out. The main way you stay on track with your soul count is kills. As mentioned, it becomes infinitesimally harder to get souls from grinding camps, so losing the lead by not getting kills becomes way more difficult. The main items you should be focusing on are spirit and movement based ones, but also ones that can slow the enemy down and lower their spirit resist. As mentioned, you are supposed to be either ending engagements or entering them with so much burst that the enemy is forced to run away or die trying. I think a bigger part to mention on top of his movement is that you should not be afraid trying to use his abilities to get away. Use your 1 to get height, spam your 3 to run away fast, hell, even use your ult if you're caught out. As of right now, Apollo's ult is on a decently fast cooldown, especially when you get those cooldown reduction items, so using it to run away or even just using it to take out one enemy is almost always worth it. Do not worry about saving his abilities, he gets them back very fast. Just keep an eye that you are not engaging while they are on cooldown. Alright, now we're headed into late game. Now the walkers are down, the mid boss guardians are kind of down almost. What is your main plan of action here? Well, you want to stay with your team. Once we hit endgame, everyone becomes very beefy, and your ability to gank solo players is way harder, especially because everyone has so much health, and they're probably staying together anyway. As players become more aware of how long their respawn timers are, they tend to stay in groups a lot more, and they are a lot more cautious, so it is very imperative that you stay with your team and have them start the engagements. Like mid-game, you can engage, especially since your abilities are on low cooldown at this point, but if you get caught out or just get CC'd in any type of way, it's kind of wraps. So personally, if you're not too confident that you can engage, pop out, and then come in at the end of the engagement, I would recommend waiting for your team to start the engagement themselves. You should then hop in during the middle/end and use your ult to hit as many enemies as possible. Very similar to Lash's playstyle is almost how I would best describe it. Really, at that point, it's wraps. That's about your entire game plan during the trial. Most of the time, the last engagement during the end game is about it, so I'm just going to rapid fire a few more tips before ending this. Greater Expansion is a goated item and should be bought almost every single time because it just works for all of Apollo's abilities. And honestly, being able to spam your 3 from just so far away is hilarious. Similarly, because he just has a high focus on burst, things like Mystic Burst and Tank Buster are amazing. And really the only last purple I would say you always have to get is Boundless Spirit. It is just more spirit damage at a flat rate. Woo! In terms of greens, Stamina Mastery is a must for me. I also really enjoy Reactive Barrier, especially because they added the new upgraded variant. Since you are very heavy movement based, people will do everything they can to stun you, so being able to counteract that is crazy important for Apollo. It's also very important to note that literally anything, ability, item, or ultimate that stops movement based abilities from being used is basically as strong as someone using Curse on you. Since 3 of Apollo's 4 abilities are technically movement based, if you get hit by Warden Cage, Wraith Ult, or hell, even Slowing Hex of all things, your entire kit is basically useless. Anyway, big ups to his ult, by the way. It's goated for stealing mid boss, and as mentioned, it slows down enemies who are hit. So when that crystal drops and enemies are gonna punch it, time your ult so that you stop them and pray your team steals the regen. Don't try to steal mid boss alone. You get slowed as well, so it's basically pointless. I freaking love Apollo. I don't think he gets the love he deserves. Call me a D1 Glazer, but I voted for him every single time, and I have still loved him ever since he came out. I think a lot of people treat his character like Lash, which is really funny because I feel like that's misrepresented because he's a prideful character, but he's not arrogant. That's the Lash. But I also love the Lash, so no hate there. It's just interesting how people get that mixed up just because of Apollo's background and demeanor. Overall, I think Apollo is a great character that emphasizes movement so much, and that really makes the game a lot more fun. He places heavy importance on the player's ability to choose their battles, which makes him such an engaging character to play. But I promise, if you use his movement right, take the right engagements, and have the confidence to 1v1 or chase down enemies that you know are weak, you will become an awesome Apollo main. Thanks for watching. You should subscribe if you enjoyed, and here's some other stuff you should check out. If you like Deadlock, I have these other character guides, or if you like anime, I have some videos about those things as well. Regardless, if this is the last you hear from me, I want to say thanks for watching and have a great life.